Hello, welcome back. It's Fred up in a very cold shack, and just gonna make a little video here, just introduce something that I'm going to be doing in 2021 and explain why. Firstly, if you've come to this video via a YouTube search or a Google search, please do not expect this to be a review of the Inrico S200 radio. I'm not intending this to be a review. I might do a review at some point in the future. I'm just making this video for my regular subscribers to explain what's happening, so I do apologise if you're expecting an in-depth review. So, as in the title, it's a radio, but it's not a radio. If you're a radio guy or girl, then you're going to know all about these little POC or network radios. They've been out a good 7 or 8 years now. They're nothing new. They're new to me, but they're nothing really new. And there's a lot of discussion over the internet, for and against. And people, I think people try and pass these off as a radio. They are a form of radio communication, but they're not a radio. So I just want to I don't want to get into an argument. You can leave your opinion in the comments, that's fine. In my opinion that is a radio. That is a mobile phone, and that network radio is really just a mobile phone in a case that looks like a radio. That is a proper radio. And it's because of that I've sort of not really got one of these. I've kind of been putting it off, to be honest. Lewis, Ringway, Manchester, and I'll leave a little picture come up now. If you want to find out about these, because I'm not qualified to really tell you about them, you need to check out his channel, Ringway, because Lewis has been reviewing these for a few years now, and he's well into network radios. Now, if you don't know what a network radio is, and I'm sure there's quite a few of you that didn't know what a network radio is, this does not transmit and receive by a sort of HF or anything like that. It works via Wi-Fi or a SIM card. It's a 4G or a Wi-Fi radio. So you have to download a radio app. For example, I'm going to be using Zello. That's going to be the main app that I'm going to be using. You can download amateur radio apps, such as, I think, Peanuts, a popular one, things like that, and that's maybe when the radio probably is more useful. So it's a communication device. Now, Zello, for example, that's, as I say, what I'm using. I mean, you can just use your mobile phone. You can download Zello on your mobile phone. I have tried it on my mobile phone, and it works. It works really, really well. It works just as well as this, to be honest. The only problem is I found that it absolutely spanks the battery of my iPhone. So I had to put it on my iPad in the end. Otherwise, it just took too much battery out. The battery life on this radio is very, very good. It's I think it's 4,000 mAh, and it just sort of seems to go on forever. I've only had this about a week, and I've not recharged it, and I've still got about 85% battery life. The reason I've got one, even though I'm a little bit against them, at least initially I was, is that in the UK now, when I'm making this video on the first day, it's January the 5th, and it's the first day of our third national lockdown. This means that you cannot legally leave your house to go anywhere other than to go shopping, to go to work, things like that. And it has an effect on radio, because a lot of the people that I speak to go mobile, and you just can't go out now and set up in your car and go mobile and join your radio groups and everything else. And throughout the previous lockdown, a lot of people turned to Zello to communicate and sort of, have a chat as they would have done on CB radio. Steve 318 set up his own little chat group, and I had that on my iPad for a couple of months now, and I've been on there and had a little chat, and it's really helped radio out, even though it's not radio, but it's really, really helped radio out. So I thought it's about time that I sort of got into this, and I will be in time. I've only had this a short time, and it's all new to me, but I will be setting up a little CB chat group. I just need to speak to Awesome, get some help from Awesome Dave, but I will be setting up a little CB 27305 chat group in the future if I can do it. I'll just run you through some of the specs, because I know you're going to be interested. in this. So the main difference between the 320 and the 200 is the larger screen. This has a 3.1-inch TFT screen. It's very high, nice, very high resolution. And if you're getting on a bit like me, I can read the screen without my reading glasses. Anything smaller, and I would need to use my reading glasses. It doesn't have a real keyboard. It obviously uses a virtual keyboard, which the 320 probably has got an advantage on it there. It's running Android operating system. It's running 7.0 Android. It's 4G if you use it on a SIM card, or it's obviously Wi-Fi. You can use it on your home Wi-Fi enabled. It has, on the back, it has a 13 megapixel camera, and on the front it has a 2 megapixel camera. The screen itself, it's tempered glass, and it's very slightly sunken in. You can't really see it, but it's very slightly sunken, so if you do lay the radio down quite sort of heavily on the front, in theory it shouldn't break the glass. If you want to go a bit more technical, the processor on the S200, it is a MT6737 running at 1 gig. It has 1 gig of DDR3 built-in memory and also 8 gig of ROM memory. One thing I found strange, which I didn't realise, and it's not a problem for me, the T300 has a proper sort of ear speaker up here somewhere, like you'd get on a mobile phone. This hasn't got that. You've got a microphone there, but when you talk on it, it comes out of a rear speaker, a bit like if you were going to put your phone on speakerphone. Now, obviously, you can turn the volume down, but you can't have a private conversation on this phone with it to your ear, which you could do on the 320. I'm not quite sure, maybe because the screen is larger, there wasn't room. So if you wanted to have a private one-to-one conversation and obviously no one else hear you, you're going to have to get yourself a cheap little sort of Bluetooth earbud and sort of use it by that. I haven't set it up yet, because I have got the wireless Bluetooth speaker mic. This again allows you to use the radio very much like you would kind of a CB radio. Now the thing is, I've been using Zello for a while now, just on my sort of phone and on my iPad, and it didn't feel like radio, to be perfectly honest. It just felt like I was using my phone. And although it seems a bit of a waste maybe to buy a dedicated radio and maybe to go to the expense of spending another £35 on a Bluetooth microphone, but it does improve the experience. And I've only had really one conversation on this at the moment, but if you can key up a microphone in your hand, it just kind of convinces your brain that you're using a radio, even though obviously you're not. So I haven't really properly set this up yet. You can have this so it works on obviously the microphone in the radio, and then you can have the speaker mic so it just transmits the sound out of this. Again, I might do a review in the future once I'm kind of into this, but at the moment I'm not quite there yet. Obviously, we're going to be carrying on doing the normal radio stuff. I'm not giving that up. This is a little side. This doesn't replace radio, which has been the argument on a lot of forums. This to me is just a little sideline. Another thing about this as well, if you fit in a SIM card, bear in mind it's 4G. Also, because it's got a dedicated antenna, it apparently, according to Awesome, if you're in a low signal area or you go away camping or sort of you like to go walking, things like that, compared to your standard phone that's got its antenna sort of inside the case, apparently you get a very, very good signal. It's very good at bringing in distant sort of radio masts and things like that, so probably quite good in that respect if you like to travel around. Just going to do an echo test in a second. What's quite good, obviously you can reprogram all of these buttons. You can download a button mapper, but Zello allows you to reprogram some of the buttons to make their functions a little bit easier. The push to talk button on the side there, it's nice and big, nice and easy to use. I've pre-programmed that so that it's a single push on and a single push off, and that saves me sort of holding it down. Right, I'm going to go into the Echo app now, and then I'll just do a little bit of echo so you can hear the clarity. It's very, very good of the rear speaker. Charlie Tango 1664. Fred in his shed 1664. Cool. Charlie Tango 1664. Fred in his shed 1664. Cool. And that's it. That's really, really clear. I'd say the speaker is really now, that's at about 60-70% volume. It's at the back there. It's a shame there's no earpiece speaker. but I guess, you know, that's sort of something they did without. Criticisms. I know this is not a full review. It's not that many. It's not that heavy. It comes in at just over 200 grams, so it's reasonably light. It does feel quite nice in the hand. The controls, volume control, for example, yeah, that feels like a nice sort of linear pot, and it does feel quite sort of solid. I've got a couple of criticisms though. The first one is this spring clip on the back that sort of screws in. I think this isn't at the same quality as the rest of the radio, in my opinion. The plastic feels a little bit cheaper. And the pin here, you can just see that pin. When I actually fitted this, the pin was hanging out. It wasn't properly attached. I had to sort of push that in. And it's not really clicked into place now. In fact, I could pull that out with my thumb. So it does. I haven't checked, but it looks very similar to the Bofung kind of clip spacing there, so I might see if I can maybe replace that belt clip. It does seem a little bit sort of cheap and nasty there. Another thing also, which I don't know, it doesn't bother me, but there's a little green light that flashes on the top of the radio whilst it's sort of switched on. You don't seem to be able to switch that off, but I suppose then it lets you know that the radio is switched on. And so yeah, but some people might find that annoying, especially if you're using it at night. That's going to be sort of quite bright. But as I said, I may do a review. There are a few reviews on this on YouTube if you look. Some are good, some are not. So I might do a proper review on this at some point in the future when I've had a chance to play with it. Been really busy at work. I've really done no radio at all for weeks now, so I need to get back into my radio. I think I'm going to set up another radio downstairs because it's getting a bit chilly up in the shack here, and I need to get back in. As you're getting on the old 305, and I really miss chatting to the guys on there. So that's for the future. But there you go. I hope everyone is staying safe. It's really bloody bad at the moment. This new strain of COVID in January is awful. It's 76% more infectious, and I just hope they get the vaccines out, especially for the elderly. Yeah, how are we going to get through this without catching it? I honestly don't know, but I hope we do. So please stay safe, and yeah, keep yourself indoors if you can. Sanitize, wear a mask, you know. Yeah, it's pretty bad, to be honest. Okay, that's going to be it. Bit of a chatty one. There's the old thumb. Look out for new videos on this. When I've had a chance, if I can set up a group and get Awesome involved, I will do, and then I'll make a very quick video to let you know there's a little chat group on there, and then you can join the group. I won't be on there all the time, of course, but I hope to be on there a little bit more than I have been on the normal radio. But that's it for now. Cheers, guys and girls. Please stay safe. Catch you on the next one. Laters.